While we're waiting for others to come
luscious
in.
energy that moves my soul. Unleash the part of me that
Welcome to
they
the after
wish
party.
they control. Open the records and
So
forget
happy to have
what
you.
you've been told. Feel the pleasure when you let yourself give into the Kundalini energy. I'm dancing with your spiral. The web of all infinity. Let's make this last a while.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to our after party. All right. Okay, so let's get started. When we got Lainey still hopping in here in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so happy that you're here. I am so happy that you're here. I just want to make sure that we're recording. Okay, we are recording. All right. Well, thanks for coming to the after party, everybody. Turned on Sales Challenge. You guys have, I know a lot of you here I'm seeing in this room, y'all been on this journey the whole way through. So thanks for your just phenomenal energy these last 3-4 weeks. It's really been a super beautiful experience, super awesome, fun, great, expansive. So I would love to invite you in the chat to put in the chat what is something, let me just make sure my camera is open. What is something that has been one of the most valuable things that you have learned in this challenge? Like when you reflect back on the last few weeks, what is it from the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, that you have learned that has really changed you in some way, changed how you see your business, change how you see selling, change how you see speaking about your work, energetically, with how the messaging of how you bring it, whatever it is, I would love to hear. What's one of the biggest shifts that has happened for you in these last few weeks? As you're, we're waiting to, I know some people are here like typing and coming on in. Mm. So I want to presence what I've heard from some people who have been writing about what's been coming in. But it just feels like what Julia said here. I feel more excited about sales. That's it. That's so great. I mean, that shift alone, that's a shift that can change like the entire money making operations aspect of your entire business, right? The cash flow that you make, the energy you feel about doing your work. So I would love to hear what is something that has really shifted for you. Karen, I was able to feel deeply how much I stand in my own way as I'm envisioning what's possible and feeling the blocks and knowing that I am the one in the way. That is huge. Well, that's leadership right there. Accountability, right? And it's also so empowering because that this is where we have the power is with ourselves, right? How we respond to things. That's beautiful, Karen. Um, Great, Kelly. I need to value my voice and my contribution deeply to really get it out there. I need to see that my voice and offer are necessary. Beautiful. Yeah, really getting like deepening in the value is so the portal. It's so the way. It really is so much more about energy than it is strategy and tactics. Sandy, so true. It's so true. That is so, so true. Yes, it really is about the energy, right? Because you can have all this tactics. You can have all the tactics, right? You can have all the tactics. But you could have like the best energy and not have any tactics, and people are just like, I just need to have more of what you're having. So true. All right, so I would love to hear from anybody else about what's been really opening up for you in the last 3/4 weeks. Oh, here we are. And I'm curious, Zoom user, what is your name? I have learned the depth of love I feel for what I do is a vastly deep river of energy. My desire to sell is expanded because I feel so at ease my authenticity when drinking from this river. Oh, it's so beautiful. I feel that in like in such deep core way. That kind of love is enormous. Thank you. That is really, really beautiful, Zoom user. I really want to know your name. That was really touching. Oh, it's Corinne. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Corinne. That is so gorgeous. Wonderful. All right. So we are, and for the ladies who are just popping in, if you're just popping in, we're sharing right now. What is one of the big insights that you have got from the last 3.5 weeks that you feel has really changed things for you? What is that for you? What has been an insight or a shift in your energy, your relationship to selling, your relationship to your work, your relationship to speaking up about your work, your relationship to money, right? Whatever it is, I would love to hear what is it that has been opening up for what has opened up for you? What has shifted for you? Sales is love and creativity and action. My calling remains true and energized. Yay, Imogen. I love that. That's so beautiful. Beautiful. Sales is love and creativity and action. It really is. It really, really is. I think that is just to me, that really says so much of it at all. It is an expansion, an extension of our heart. I went back the other day and I listened to call number one. And, there is something about what we covered in call one that I want to represent how important this part is, which is that we often hear, right? And we know it's true that women are the vision holders. Women are the vision holders. We hold vision. It is one of our massive superpowers, and it's such a evolutionary necessity for our communities, right? That women own and embrace our visions as valuable, right? There's no way that life would have given us that gift without also giving us the natural gift of getting out there and enrolling people in those visions. You know, I mean, we were born to sell. We were born to enroll people. We were born, it's just part of what we do and how we are, right? We're telling people all the time about the things we've discovered that we love, about you know, this restaurant I went to, this beauty product, this great new supplement, this new cleanse, this new that, this new this. We're always, gathering the herd, the community together and telling them what we found. It's the same thing here. It's like but there's just this extraordinary thing that we've been doing over the last 3 weeks, which I see is doing the deeper cut of what allows us to then be able to get out there and sell from such a deeply authentic place of liberation is re-anchoring back into the very thing that is at the core of this gift of having the vision and the natural gift that lives within us to enroll people in it, which is the intelligence of the flow of love inside of us, right? We know our visions are born from love. Selling is an act of love. And anything else, any worries, any fears, any awkwardness that lives on top of that is just a lie. It's just conditioning. It's just societal conditioning. It's not the truth of who we are. Who we are rivers of love that has a voice, that has a vision, that has a voice. Selling is an absolute and critical way of how we move society forward in the direction of the vision that we know is possible in our hearts. It's how we help the world evolve. And I am just been so touched by so many of you hearing about just the natural freedom and joy and expansion of your work, just having these reframes on selling, having these deep shifts inside yourself, that it may bring more fun into your life, in your work, and going out there and making awesome money. because it's so fun. It's just so fun. I've had the most fun the last 3 weeks, I got to tell you. I've had such a great time. It has been so fun, right? And when we're really plugged in to what we believe in and um, what we see as possible for ourselves, right? When we're really plugged in to the turned on joy of what we want to sell and what's feeling alive, it can be so fun. Work can be so fun. Making money can be so fun. And you can let yourself have fun, right? We can let ourselves have so much fun making awesome money and feel great about it. Feel so great about it. So, we're going to be talking more about that today. Um, I want to kind of give just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to go in here in our last after party call. We're going to be talking a little bit about like what are some like the most like important action steps for you coming out of this challenge. Right, we've come into this great community that's committed to being in this great, juicy, turned on place. It's expansive. You're having expansive thoughts and expansive seeings. Like we want to put yourself in a great position to maintain that energy. It's easy to go back into another paradigm because the other paradigm is the more dominant paradigm. And my desire for you is to really stabilize in this joy, committed energy, and the value of what you have to give, going out there, speaking up, selling, actually implementing on like a whole other level and staying stabilized in it. So, we're going to talk about some ways to support you in that. I am going to be sharing about one specific way that I have for you to have more support in that should you choose to that is the path forward for you. So we'll be talking about that today. And we are also going to be talking about some things around energetics, how to really support you in feeling into an increased energy and abundance in your body, what it feels like to hold more money in your body. We're going to be talking about that. And some of the dynamics of things around money and wealth that have everything to do with how, whether we actually get into action selling, whether we actually get into action around bringing in a lot more money into our work has so much to do about our relationship to money and wealth. And we're going to be talking about some of those pieces here today. All right. So let's close our eyes for just a moment here. And we're going to take 3 breaths. Deep inhales, long, slow exhale. Okay. So I just want to see what a few more things are of what people are writing in here. Okay. I have a greater sense of value of the transformation I bring. This frees me up to sell this transformation powerfully. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, to deepening into the value. Seeing a different relationship to sales, one that is part of my business and feels like the rest of my business instead of a separate, dreadful thing I have to do in a traditional way. Wow, that's awesome, Denise. I love that. Beautiful. Integrating. Yeah. I think the heart of the challenge for me is to see that I need to honor it is not for me, but it is coming through me. So I need to respect myself as the vision holder. So my question for you, Kelly, is are you still in the place where it's like you see that you need to honor the message and vision that you have more? Or are there parts of you that you can also recognize that are deepening into actually doing that, that you do honor the message more? Or does it still feel like something separate from you in the future that you need to do?
I do feel like I am stepping into that and I'm just allowing it to come through more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that what I would say, because I saw this also in your message from above, I just want to reflect this, and this may be true for all of us, and it's a good reminder for all of us, right? Is that one of the ways to compound something is to recognize it where it is and look at our languaging of it too. Because if I look at this one here and the one that you wrote earlier, I need to value my voice and contribution deeply. I need to see, and yes, those are
Oh,
true, but also it is to see and to celebrate like are there in our languaging like am am I actually having experiences of like seeing how I am actually deepening into the value now? Like, how does that feel for me? What am I seeing as possible from this place? And I see that there's an opportunity for more, right? So that's just one thing to explore
mm.
in our mind because sometimes we can kind of keep ourselves in a place where like there's still something I'm striving for out there rather than recognizing also what is already deepening now.
Yeah, I'm allowing myself to value that.
Yeah, beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful, powerful,
Yeah, thank
gorgeous,
you.
gorgeous. I think that's probably true for a lot of us. Okay, okay. So we have spent time covering all kinds of amazing things in this incredible experience we've been having together. And we covered in our first call, our first part of our journey, understanding the energetics, right? How important it is in our leadership. I'm just going to move this closer to me. How important it is in our leadership to plug in every day, right? That this is our responsibility to plug in every day, right? It's the number one most important thing. It's so easy to get off the rails. There's so many things, people, actions, activities, just spending 10 minutes on social media. I mean, it's like it is so easy, right? Our ultimate power in this day and age more than ever is anchoring in where's our attention and what energy am I aligning with? That is power. Otherwise, we are just blowing in the wind, blowing in the wind. And as Meta and these huge tech companies want to see, our attention is just, you know, a commodity to gain, right? So our attention is our power so deeply. And it's really easy for us to get off course in our life um, with the busyness of things. So, one of the things that I really want to charge you in the next time to come as we move forward out of this challenge together is that you take an honest look at how you're structuring the beginning of your day and get really honest with yourself. And I want you to, and we're going to do this right now. I want to invite you to close your eyes for a minute. We're going to go meet somebody. All right, so close your eyes. Allowing your eyes to close and your breath to soften. I invite you to imagine that your attention right now, your presence, your center of focus is like a beautiful stone that is slowly, slowly dropping, floating down the ocean of your being, down through your body, all the way down through the center of your body, down through your belly, and eventually the stone settles the base of your pelvis. sensing and seeing this beautiful stone softly touching the soft ground of your pelvis, of the bottom of the ocean floor within you. And just letting your attention rest here, the base of your body, your being. And imagining now that there is this golden light that begins to emerge here within the base of your pelvis. Golden shimmering light that begins to emanate and fill your entire pelvic bowl, your entire womb space. This beautiful golden shimmering light. And from this place, I invite you to imagine here your future elder self, who is a very, very wealthy, well-resourced woman. She is vibrant. She feels so safe and alive. All of her needs are met and beyond. Perhaps imagining the beautiful home that she lives in. Maybe she is very elder, maybe she's just somewhat elder, just a little more elder than you now. Maybe she's quite a bit elder than you now. But she is you, your future wealthy self. Just letting yourself feel the deep comfort and luxury, peace and health and beauty of the environment that she is in right now. And seeing this environment, noticing what it looks like. Noticing what it feels like. And seeing her, noticing, oh, she's waiting for you right now. There, maybe she's sitting. There's a seat next to her. See this place. And when you're ready, go ahead and walk over and sit next to her. Notice how she looks at you, the care that she has for you. Notice the energy she's carrying. And we're going to ask her a question. She is the future you. is living in the wealth that her wisdom and decisions created, that your wisdom and decisions created. And I want to invite you to ask her the first question. What is important for me to know now in my quest to create the reality that you are living in? And I invite you to listen and then take a couple of moments to write down what she says. And then I invite you to ask her, what's the most powerful way for me to spend my mornings now in my life? How does she want to guide you to spend your mornings now in your life? Go ahead and write it down. And then I invite you to ask her and say, even though I might be scared or have a lot of resistance come up, what steps, step or steps do you want me to take right now in my life to create the magic and the wealth that I know I'm called to make? And see what she is asking you to do. So if you feel called, I would love to invite you to put 1 or 2 or 3, whatever feels true for you, into the chat. So we might be like, no, I need to keep it within here. There's also incredible power, especially in a focus container like this, where we're all in a similar energy and expansion to name it and be a witness and witness others. So I invite you. And actually, I would love to invite someone if someone wants to share, to raise their hand and to have you share with us what came through. And we're not going to get into like a bunch of like storytelling around it or explaining. I just want you to share with us, what's the guidance. Does anybody like to come on and share with us over video? Yeah, Janice, let me find you. Hang on. Where'd it go? Hold on, Janice, I'm looking for you. There you are. Hello, Janice.
So the first piece of guidance was don't push. There's no rush, there's no timeline that I have to meet. And to let myself experience joy in some of the everyday things that are going on right now. And then to take, for the morning practice, to take 5 minutes every morning to visualize this new reality, to visualize the home, to visualize the rhythm of my day, of my week, how I feel in my body, but for that to be the first thing that happens every morning. And in terms of steps to take right now, to give myself the space to fully invest in the Legends Mastermind work, and all the calls and the homework, and then to also get right now I'm in a practice of getting one solid piece of writing out each week, but to get out a second one that dives more deeply into me and my work.
Beautiful. Powerful. Very clear. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gorgeous. All right. Anyone else feel called to share how they're being guided right now by your future wise, wealthy self? I'm seeing here, your riches will come through enriching yourself. Beautiful. All right. Awesome. Corinne. You just need to unmute yourself. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you, Casey. I wrote that I would like to stay in the softness of myself and invite every morning the sacred soul foundational space from where I speak to be my every moment. And start my day with meditation, honoring my ancestors, and feel into nature. Shoes off in the sand outside my door and awaken to water energy. And what I'm going to do for myself is only be with vibrational souls that I can mutually vibrate with and love myself more than I ever thought possible. And share from my deepest love daily.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Gorgeous. All right. So this is such a powerful conversation for us to open up sometimes. And I invite you to bring this future self of yours, this queen that you are, that you're evolving into, to come and talk back to you now, where you are now, to support you with guidance and wise steps to make. There's a lot of, you know, guides that we can tap into in the infinite sphere out there. But why not the future you that is living into the highest possible creative expression and the fullest potential of you and what you've come here to create and who you've come here to be, and to the abundance that is your birthright here to create with your gifts? Why not open up that channel and that communication even more deeply in a more consistent basis in your life, right? Is an important North Star of where to go. This has been a life-changing thing for me, opening up. And sometimes I have moments. And when they come, they are just so magical. Where all of a sudden I'm like, for some reason, I don't know what it is. They kind of come out of the blue, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's every once in a while where all of a sudden I feel so much love and compassion for a past version of myself who was like maybe in like a really like challenging moment. But but from where I am now, I look back and I know how much bravery that moment took for her and what she was going through. And I can see it from my perspective now of like, like, oh my gosh, like the choices she made from that moment contributed so much to the life that I have now. And sometimes I feel like this portal opens and I'm like, girlfriend, keep going. I see you right now. I see you. And I literally feel like I am right there with her and I am supporting her and I'm sending her encouraging messages and I'm guiding her in what to do. And then it's like, I remember it like some of those are the moments where I was calling to my future self. And those are the moments where I made contact. And it's so trippy and it's so amazing. It's so amazing, right? And I think some of those are the most formidable moments of choice making, of expansion in my life, is when I have those moments of making contact with my future self and where my future self makes contact with my past self. And it's like, zzz, there's all the sense of time goes out the window. And I know that I am literally at the future moment when I was like intending in the past to call it to my future self, and I have like come together, and it's just so amazing, right? That sometimes it just blows me open, the love and the tears and the magic, right? And I don't know if any of you ever saw the movie Interstellar. If you haven't seen Interstellar, I highly recommend it. Right? I don't want to totally spoil this for you, so I'm not going to. But this is a big theme in the movie. Like it turns out, this is a big theme, right? Where the construct of time disappears and the past self and the future self come together as one. And they come together as one, and only one field is it possible for them to come together. It's the field of love. And this is where we can communicate with ourselves. So leaning into your future wise self who is living in the highest possible potential of who you came here to be, right? And hearing what she has to say to you, that is your best guidance, and in my experience. So that's one piece that I want to invite you leading out from this challenge is to continue to nurture this relationship with this future wise self. She's never going to tell you to do something stupid. I mean, it's just like so trustable, right? And it instills this magical piece of just knowing like, wow, we're just so not alone, right? And the absolute consummate cheerleader is your future you, right? Coming back to support you now. And there's all kinds of stuff on the quest of being powerful creators, which we all are meant to be, right? Of creating the sacred work we're here to give, the creativity we're meant to create, the money that we're here to make, right? The success, the lives touched, the full expansion, the expanded capacity, all of these things is filled with not knowing how to do, not knowing how to do it. Learning. One of the best pieces of guidance I've had has actually come from, I will tell you this, I don't remember if I shared about this on one of our calls. I feel like I talked about it recently. I might have talked about it. If I did, forgive me. But apparently it wants to be told again if I did. So I had this experience for years where I would get so frustrated with my kid. It was like a whole theme, sometimes angry. And it was like this lineage thing in my family, women just being so angry, you know. And I did a lot of work around it. I've done a lot. I've like thrown the kitchen sink at it, like all kinds of therapy and support and all this stuff. And a lot of fear of, what I really came to see was that so much of that came from a deep, deep fear, deep fear, and a feeling of a lack of control and power in my life. And, especially during times when there was more scarcity fears of like, maybe there was like, some tightness in cash flow or uncertainty of what was going to happen with this and that. And part of the trip sometimes of being an entrepreneur, those were the times when it would flare more. So I did a tremendous amount of work around this, and it really transformed my whole life experience around this and my relationship with my son and my whole lineage. But one of the things that surprised me so much was, and that really set me on a powerful path. This was many years ago now, but I remember one night I sat down and I lit a candle and I opened up a field of communication with my grandmothers, all of my grandmothers, and I could see them. It was wild. I sat in meditation. I could just see it. It was like a triangle going back, a massive, massive ocean of just all of the women that I come from. And I asked for them. I said, "This is what I'm experiencing. I get easy, quick to anger with my kid. I think I'm coming from being afraid. I'm scared, and I don't know what to do to shift this. What advice, what guidance do you have for me?" And I remember I sat there and it was this resounding one word that came through, and it was education. That was it. Education. I remember being like, education. And then it sort of like dropped in and it was like, oh, education. Like there's so much conditioning that at least I can speak from my lineage. I don't know if you can relate to this of we have to remember that like our like it wasn't that long ago that women even got the right to vote, let alone have a mortgage in their name or a checking account in their own name. And we're doing tremendous things here, and I know that we've talked about this, but that there is so much that I think that when we deprive ourselves of investing in our education, we stay stuck and we stay small and we stay in a confined mind that is more prone to fear or prone to feeling lack of power, lack of control. And of course, there's, places where we don't have control, but there are a lot of things. I mean, I'm a big serenity prayer person. Like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In my experience, a lot of people in the spiritual realm spend way too much focus on, to accept the things I cannot change, and way too little leaning into the courage to change the things that I can. Because there's this piece that's inside that I think a lot of women have inherited, a lack of self-trust, right? Of our own capacity, our own ability. And that is like ancient news. And as I have spent more and more time over the last several years now, throwing down on everything in my education, especially when it comes to making money, managing money, my relationship to money, I have only had more beauty and peace and power and abundance and discovery of more of me in the process, right? And so that is one of the big things that I want to really support you in is investing in your education. Whether it's me or other places, doesn't matter. If it's aligned, do it. Find the resources. Believe in yourself. Life will rise up to meet you, right? This is so important. And I think one of the biggest things that it's like all the things I could say to you coming out of this, right, is education. And the other big piece is putting yourself in community with other women who are really expanding and with people who are really expanding. In my experience, that is the thing that makes the biggest difference. It makes the biggest difference. And sometimes it can feel like sometimes those are spaces where those are readily available, and sometimes you pay to be in those places. And that's why they're valuable. People pay, there's no shame in paying to be in spaces where you are with people who are expanding because those are valuable spaces. That's a place of value. As a matter of fact, I think in our world where we're going, one of the big, it's only going to get deeper and deeper is the being in part of like one of the things that humans are going to invest in so much more is paying to be in communities where there's rapid expansion happening. Especially as we have AI taking over more and more things, we're going to have more space and time to expand. The expansion of consciousness, the transformation of our capacity to be in our full potential is going to become one of the most valuable, important things people invest in, right? Is the full potential of your creativity, the full potential of your voice, and your full potential to transact with that and create value in the world with your creativity and being in spaces with people who are expanding their capacity for that. And so that's one of the things. And some people are really comfortable with being where they are, and that is awesome. But some people, I know people like me and people like all my clients, like there is a thing inside that's like, I am meant to grow. I am meant to expand. I am meant to explore the bounds. And it's just this really strong feeling that's beautiful and alive. It's an evolutionary impulse. And so when you invest in your education and you invest in being in communities of people who are expanding, it is the best investment of energy, time, and resources that you can have, and it creates the quickest transformation, right? Sometimes we can come up against the beliefs that like, I can't make it happen. I can't make it happen. You can make it happen. I could work with every single one of you today, right? To go out there and, if I had a deep dive with every single one of you today, we could make a plan for you to go and make whatever the amount of money is that you want and need to make within a very short period of time. It is like when we have to, there is a place and a time where it's like, some people are like, I will never hustle. Well, when hustle comes from self-belief and fun, because you're making it work, it's no longer like a draining thing, right? It's being an powerful creation. It's being empowered. I have a friend who was going through a really tough time with a medical diagnosis. I shared a little bit about her recently, but one of the things that she really struggled with was just like there was just so many reasons why she couldn't just go pick up the phone and make a bunch of offers to people, right? I mean, something that would literally take her, if she created a list of 20 people, it could take her 4 hours and be done with it. And she would have some sales out of that, right? There's so much that we come up with. I can't, instead of just channeling and doing the thing and changing your whole reality, right? That's like, it's amazing how much we can stay in stagnant spaces of not having as much as we want to have, when if we just took 2 to 4 hours, and if you need to drink a little coffee to help you, or you need to go do some qigong like I do before you do to get you centered, and you just change your reality really quick. Make some efforts, put some value out in the world, right? Put value out in the world, make sales happen, right? Make some magic happen. But we can get really stuck in a lot of the like depressed energy. It's like a depressed energy of like, I can't, I don't know, I'm not sure, like what if they don't? I gotta perfect this thing. We stay small. We stay small. We underestimate our ability so drastically most of the time. Like if we were really honest with ourselves, you know, that's the thing where when we can begin to get so aligned, connect to that value and be like, I have standards for myself. I have standards for the money that I'm making. I have standards, and I trust myself to hold my standards and to do the things that are for me to do to continue to meet those standards. A lot of it has to come down with the fact that like we either don't, it's like an issue of trust. We don't trust either what the thing is that we have to offer. We don't trust we can do it. We don't trust good things will show up. We don't trust that people would say yes to us. It all comes down to this big question mark underneath of, is this even valuable? Am I even valuable? And so part of plugging in every day into that value is also plugging in to a new set of standards for yourself in your life. Like if you have been saying, I just want to make $10,000 consistently every month, do you really mean it? Are you really doing the things in your life to do that? And if you really meant it, are you investing in the education to support you? Are you surrounding yourself with the people who are also in their own expansion, see you, celebrate you, that when you're around them, you have a feeling of anything is possible. I want to go do this. I'm so excited. You can see it and feel it so much deeply. Is that where you're investing your time? And are you lining up actions in your day to make that possible? To create that $10,000 consistent month? Are you doing it? Because if you're not yet, if that's what you say you want and you're not, every single woman here can easily be making 10,000, 20,000 more a month consistently. But oftentimes what happens is that it's these underlying conditioned things of either a lack of education, continuing to be in codependent energetic relationships with people where we're staying smaller to keep other people comfortable. We're still playing out some like fantasy of like, there's gonna be some rich dude who's gonna come take care of your retirement. You know, make sure you're all set up, right? And we're distracting ourselves with other things that we're doing during the day that are not making sales, not living and offering the value of our work, And then we wonder why we're tired and we don't have as much money as we need. So so much of it is just like disconnection from the value, but underneath that is like a sense of like, is it breaking your trust with yourself? So much of this is about rebuilding trust with ourselves, right? To actually get the support, get around the people, and then do the things that are going to create what we're here to create. And who you will, this is why this is such an amazing process of evolution and growth, is because who you become in that process is just a way more powerful version of yourself. She is awesome. And one of the core distinguishing factors of what she has right in her experience, who's created that, versus where we may be standing today, is deeper self-trust and holding her own standards. She's going to do the things she knows to do to hold her standards. And there's challenging things that come up along the way. There are challenging things that come up along the way. Sometimes we're not clear on what it is we want to do. And that's an alignment thing. And we got to work to support ourselves in getting the alignment. That is just so important. That's a big piece, right? Is the alignment piece, right? So I get that. But sometimes it's also about the challenging emotions and things that come up, right? The challenging emotions. But the thing about this is the beautiful thing in this process, right? Is that when we go on the journey of aligning ourselves so much more deeply in the value of what we're here to share, and when we set new standards for ourselves, we really mean it. Wow, I'm taking an honest assessment. The way this has been is not how I want it to continue. Either it's literally just not enough for what you want or you need in your life, or you want more. You want more. You want to be able to go to fucking Paris. You want to be able to go and take some fabulous trips. You want to be able to support your kids maybe in like helping them later with like being able to give them a down payment on their house or help with their education, right? You want to be able to have a great retirement, right? You prefer to have that than like spending the end of your life in like a state hospital. That would be great, right? Like we have to get really honest about these things and create new standards for ourselves. And when we go on the journey of being in this deepening of value and setting these new standards for ourselves, this is the place where so much stuff gets to come up for us, right? So much stuff gets to come up for us that gives us the opportunity to see it and heal it. Because oftentimes, when we're not following through on getting the education we need to really help us expand and grow, when we're continuing to surround ourselves in relationships that are lower, like literally lower vibe relationships where we're not expressing the fullness of our potential because we're trying to keep everybody safe, right? When we're not like really taking the actions every day to meet the thing that we're committed to creating, that book you want to write, that 10K, 20K, 40K, 100K a month you want to make, we're not taking those actions. When we have to really look and assess, when we start to set a new standard and go for that, we realize that not doing all of those things was to avoid having to feel something so uncomfortable inside. The big, painful question mark around our worthiness. Not wanting to be rejected. Not wanting to fail, because rejection or failure would bring up this thing that is so, I'm going to have to pause, whoever is unmuted, if you can mute yourself, that thing inside is so much orchestration. It's so powerful and it happens so young for most of us. It keeps us choosing things that are completely out of alignment with the worthiness that is actually deeply inside. And so we look at ourselves and it's like, I know I'm brilliant. I know I am so brilliant. I know I'm so smart. Why am I not making as much money as I know I could? It's because all the distraction, all the pain, all the resources, even a lot of the mental activity of like all the stuff is usually all designed and coming and spawning from this place inside where there is this fundamental deep angst, question mark of, am I worthy? And so when we set a new standard and we really commit to it, that new standard, one of its deepest gifts, is designed to support us and no longer doing the things that have distracted us from encountering this place within. In this place within, all it has ever been looking for is the safety and the sanctuary of your own love. Ultimately, the quest to make a lot more money, bringing your sacred work out into the world, of course it's about impacting the world and how we can give to others. But ultimately, it's about us going on the journey to meet and deeply heal this part. So instead of living our life from the question mark, am I worthy? We live our life from the exclamation point of, I am worthy. I am worthy. And having the joy of that knowing emanate through everything. Boundless. It is so liberating. That is the thing. That is it. That is the gold. And it's not like it ends there. It's intelligent. This worthiness is intelligent. It's filled with desire. It's filled with creativity. It has its own unique resonance in your voice. It wants to expand and create and give and love and support and contribute from this place. And you get to really be in the space of just like expansive, turned on wealth. We're so aligned. The joy and the love of our own resting in our worthiness, right? But in my experience, there ain't nothing like going for your dreams and being brave and setting new standards that gives us the opportunity to have this encounter and this transformation of self. This transformation of self, this evolution in your identity, where your whole life becomes a reflection of this worthiness. Yeah. And the expanded capacity to create and love and serve from this place. Its very nature is abundance. Right? And it's the most beautiful journey. But again, the key pieces, education, environment, setting a new standard. That you develop the self-trust of yourself to keep and go on the brave journey of becoming who you must become to meet these new standards, because that's the journey of claiming your worthiness. So I would love to ask you, what is a new standard in your life that you're creating for yourself? What is a new standard in your life that you're creating for yourself? You can put it in the chat. What is a new standard in your life that you're creating for yourself? What is a new standard in your life? Yeah, great. From a desire to a standard. Very different. I love that, Denise. Excellent distinction. Feels so different, right? Can you please speak to a major block you experienced and how you overcame it? Interesting question. I love that. Okay. Hang on one second. Abundant creativity, a deep commitment to step into the flow and current of life each and every day to keep showing up for life in me. Beautiful. To stop clinging to the gold in my retirement account, invest in the gold inside myself. Yes. To honor myself as a writer. Yay. Susie, that makes me so happy to read that. I love that. I remember our VIP call very well. Beautiful. Audaciously embracing my value. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. The community I inhabit, not just the ones I hold. Great. So good. So the more specific we can make some of our standards, the more powerful it can be, you know? So I've been setting like a very powerful standard in my life of like, I'm working like a new standard. I make $100,000 every month. Yeah. That is a standard that I am on the journey of embracing in myself, right? And something, I've had times in the past where I've made 100,000, 250,000, 300,000, but they're like there, and then it kind of, I don't do it every month, but like what happens? Who will I have to become? What would I need to put in place? What is the energetics of being able to just stabilize in that, right? It's going to take education. Education takes really taking an honest assessment of with whom I am spending my time and how often, right? Of my energy, right? How am I feeling in my body? Like what, calibrating to that level of energy all the time, And also just like the practice of normalizing it, but also knowing that I can trust myself to know that only great things will happen on that journey. And just like anything in life, whether I'm making $100,000 a month, $1 million a month, or $10,000 a month, lifes. They'll be up, they'll be down. But who am I? What is my life? Who will I be in normalizing that every month? Right. So that's the journey. It's a journey of self-trust, of knowing I can trust the journey from here to there. Right. And if there's niggly things that come up when you think about, okay, I want to make $30,000 a month, and there's like, I want to do that. And if you feel anything other than like the turn on of it, but you know that that's a standard you're creating for yourself and you're really excited and there is like turn on in it, but there's also like, oh, what if I'm afraid, if I'm like, burn myself out, or if my partner feels uncomfortable or jealous of me, or any of these things, then those are the pieces to do. There's like great work to do on those, right? As part of you evolving into the woman who is meeting the standard, right? Too often we'll have a desire. We then have these little like kind of niggly clinches sometimes that come up that makes it so it's not a free flow. And then we just kind of stay in that. Versus I'm committed to the standard and I'm committed to, like getting the education that I need to make sure that I become a woman who does that from a place of being well resourced rather than burned out, right? Or the coaching I need for my marriage so that we can evolve our marriage so that there is just so much more maybe ancestral stuff, polarity stuff that we got to heal so that I am in a space of deep support in my marriage for me really going for my financial dreams for me and my family, whatever it is, so that I can meet my standard, right? We can sometimes we'll capitulate, right? But when we live in our standard, and like that's the energy of the queen. The queen has standards. I think that's one of the big differences between a queen, someone who's a woman, and someone who's a queen. Someone who hasn't really embraced her queen. That queen got standards, right? That queen has standards of how how things are going to go around her, how money's going to be for her, what her kingdom is going to be like, right? Her level of self-care. Like she has got standards. When we start embracing those standards, living into them, trusting ourselves deepens, and that deepens everything. I've stayed in the niggly things instead of being committed to the standard. That's it. That's kind of life. I think that's the big, and I love that you say that, Karen, because I think that's a really huge, I think it's a really huge thing. And most people do because we don't quite either know how to get out of it or something like that. But that's the power of being in community and surrounding yourself with people who are actually living into a totally different standard. It really does shift things, and that will help. Whatever that is for you will make that so much easier. All right, beautiful. All right, beautiful. Create daily, one epic family vacay per year. Oh, this is great. I love that. 10K per month and 30K per month. Yes, awesome. I surround myself with things I love. Buy the new sofa. Yes, totally. I'm so with you on that. And I love what Corinne said here, getting rid of the things. Yeah, I mean, Marie Kondo is onto something. Like Marie Kondo, your fucking life. If it's not bringing you joy consistently, and if it's a relationship or that relationship is going to need some therapy and work to get it up to your standard, right? Yeah. Or maybe just some more fun. I don't know. But that's the thing. Marie Kondo your life for like the new standard is joy, turned on joy, It can be like, oh, that's so selfish. I shouldn't be a woman who lives that way. Oh, no. But oh, yeah, it's great. Ultimately, it takes everybody higher. Everybody higher. Everybody. I want to tell you something really fun. I've had so much fun recently when I'm making sales, celebrating with my son every day after school. Connor, I made $73,000 today. What, Mom? Yes. And I did it, and I'm having so much fun. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Yeah. I mean, it got to the point where he's like, what is it today, Mom? And it's just so fun because I want to show him you can have so much fun making money doing what you love and having fun. That's my biggest like framing. I want to help give around him. It's my biggest commitment because I grew up in a home, Susie, to answer your question, I grew up in a home. That was not the case. It was really different. It was very stressful. My mom was, it was just very stressful. She had I grew up in a home with a tremendous amount of fear and stress around money. Single mom raising 3 kids, having to figure this shit out, had never, I mean, no, like just, I mean, I could go on and on about my lineage and all of that, but like that it has been some of my deepest inner work is transforming my relationship to work and to money and to wealth, right? And one of the biggest things that has given me access to doing the work, because there is so much that is so easy to avoid doing it. And for years, I wanted to do work like this. I had aspirations, but nothing ever was really shifting. Things started shifting a lot when it became about my kid. What is the modeling I want to give my kid so he can have such a way more expanded experience in his life, right? around creativity and money. Like it became such a deep why for me to go get that education, to invest even when funds were effing tight, putting myself in education and um, expansive community containers where I would grow because I would not, I had to have the trust. Like, I know that the me who's going to flourish being in this, because I know this is what I need, is going to make sure that I have what I need to take care of my life. I know that, like, this investment or putting down this money for doing whatever it was is going, like, that future me is going to make sure I have a different reality. And it's just always been consistently true. Always. Always, and it's only deepened my self-trust that I know that when I play bigger games and bigger investments for myself to change, like I evolve, my capacity expands, right? Because I know I'm so intelligent, right? And I have a lot of gifts, but I can't do it alone. And so some of those things have been the biggest, things that have helped me to really shift that. And some of that's been around business and some of that's been around energetics. Um, and and those are things that have allowed me to have a very different consistency. And I'm so thrilled. I'm now in a space in my life where, I can show I have like, all my monthly money is very like I just keep things. I know I heard something years ago that really stuck true for me, and I'm gonna botch it. But it's something like pray to God to make it rain. You can pray to God to make it rain, but then you also got to till the soil, right? And it's understanding we can be so clear in the vision and have the dreams, but it's also about, doing the work, putting it in. And that has been very true for me also around managing money. That when you like when you become really great at managing your money, you will receive more. And that has been life-changing for me in my relationship to money and making more money and creating wealth. Is that as I've increased my education on how to really powerfully manage my money, and been consistent and gotten support with it, I've made more money. And it's, I think, because of a self-trust thing. Like if you get a ton of money and you don't take care of your money, like there's like a fear that like keep you from making more money because you don't trust yourself to manage it and take care of it. And so there's just like a block. But when you start putting in that labor, it doesn't have to be hard. I don't spend a ton of time every month managing my money, but I do spend time managing my money. I'm clear on things, and I didn't always used to be. I've made so much more money in my business. And I think that that's a really big piece for me, and not managing it from a place of like nickel diming. There's like that's a whole other conversation we could go into, but that has been a huge piece for me of another transformation, Susie, to speak to. And it brings me a lot of joy now to show my son how I manage money, how I make money, that I do it from a place of enjoyment and gratitude and clarity. And it's taken me, I've had to really like do a lot of things to get to this level of where I am now, because I was not like that. I was avoidant, overwhelmed. Sometimes I manage it and I go months without even taking an honest, and a lot of stress. And it's just not how my life has been for some time. So that's also another really big piece that's really changed. Also increased my capacity. Again, standards. Okay. So I just want to see here. Oh, please go into that conversation. That makes perfect sense to me. I'd shut out that. I would love to shut out that without feeling a constriction. Oh, the prayer. Oh, what? I'm worthy? Is that what you meant, Shane? Oh, I can't see you actually. Yeah, 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 yeah. Great. Set some new higher standards and go on it'll happen. It'll happen. Um, okay. You just made me realize that when I'm willing to commit to sharing my work, I'll earn more money. I manage money well. Earning has been my old wounding. Trying to commit to a new standard. Yes, when I commit to setting new standards for sharing your work. New standards. That's right. Now, how do we hold these standards for ourselves? Right? I mean, this really is the thing. It's kind of like that old like I set new standards, I can make New Year's resolutions or whatever. It's like I know for me, I have to set up things in my life. I learned this years ago with made a really big declaration back in 2010 that I was gonna spokeswoman myself for planet Earth. And I had this really wild calling of, supporting the earth and the voices, the energy and the intelligence of the earth came through the bodies of women, and supporting women's voices is actually supporting the flow of the intelligence of the earth. I mean, that is really what I see. And I went on this like huge journey at that time that I needed to share this message so loudly. And was doing spoken word art at the time. And I knew the only way for me to do it was if I made a huge declaration to a lot of people, and I had to show up. I had to show up and do it, right? Otherwise, all these people would think I just wasn't doing it, right? And I think the embarrassment of that, it's like I'm all of a sudden I'm accountable to my community, and I made this huge thing, and I went on this huge journey, and it was terrifying. Oh, it's so thrilling of putting on my first major stage speaking event at the Supper Club in San Francisco back in 2010. And I mean, I didn't know even if one person was going to come. But I just had gone on this journey, and I just started doing things I had never done before. And every day it was that mixture of that cocktail of absolute fear and total bravery. And I ended up, we sold the place out. Standing room only. Capacity was 300. We had 400 people. It was insane. Night changed my life. The whole trajectory of my life changed. Like who I am and my community completely changed. People never saw me the same again. Right? And sometimes we just have to make ourselves accountable in a community of people that we really respect. Right? We respect what they're up to, what they're doing, right? And we play so much of a bigger game, right? And it's so important to surround ourselves so that we don't come back into because the like sinkhole of coming back into our conditioning is so deep, and many of us can probably relate to this. One of the best ways to wrap yourself up in community and with education. So I want to talk about a couple of ways to support you in this that I have to offer you in helping you to have that kind of support to meet the new standards for the expansion of your work, the expansion of your voice, and the expansion of the amount of money you're making. Would you like to hear a couple of ways that I have to support you in that? You can put in the chat or just raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. Yay. Okay, great. So we've got some different options here. The first thing that I want to share is that we have had the last final spot reopen up for the Legends Mastermind Live. All right. So we had someone, we filled all the spaces, and we had someone this weekend who actually was not able to move a family trip. And so we have one spot available. And I want to speak specifically to this as well as to Legends Mastermind to represent the power of this container and experience and the magic of coming to speak on that stage in Sedona. So this experience is really about being in a community where you are setting a completely new standard for your entire life, how your work is going to be, the amount of money that you're going to make, how you're going to be showing up in this world. That is our number one commitment, is to support you in having the education, having the community, and having the support, as well as the threshold moments that we keep you accountable to keep you accountable to your dreams, right? Like standing up to give that talk, right? And who you become in that process, right? So that, and all of these things that we set up for you, so that you expand your capacity and who you be, so that you literally look 1 year from now and you don't even hardly like it's that moment where you stand back at yourself a year before and you're like, go for it. Oh my God, what's happening for me now is everything that I have been wanting and so much beyond more, right? It's one of those moments and these experiences is designed to completely transform not only who you are, but the level of impact that you're having, the level of income that you're making, and actually making it so. It's like we can spend a lot of time dreaming into things, wanting into things, but time keeps moving, right? And some of us are fine to just keep waiting or keep it as a question mark. But it's like, I know some people have this like deep feeling of wanting to know, what is the full potential that I have, right? And if that is something that you're really living into in your life, you feel that pull of that full potential to make the kind of money that you know is possible you make because you know you're so intelligent, right? To reach the people that you're here to make, that you're really doing profoundly important work. The Legends Mastermind and the Legends Mastermind line is designed to support you in having that transformation. And that is consistent what we do. There's a lot of coaching programs out there these days. There's a lot. But what I can tell you is we've been around a long time and people have massive change in results with us, right? People actually go out of our programs and become incredibly, I mean, we've given so many different stories that we've told over the last 3 weeks, but they really become the 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 voice that people know and trust to come to for a certain area of transformation, right? And that radically transforms not only their reach, but the ease with which they then go out and make money. I'm going to tell you a brief story about this. So back in 2013, no, 13, 14, I made a big decision after I'd had my son and he was about 6 months old. I had just done a big launch and it was great, but I was really tired and I was still nursing and my son wasn't sleeping well. And I was like, you know what? I need to spend the next couple of years just making sure I'm well slept and maybe do just private client work. You know, I needed to take a little step back from big group programs and all that is entailed in that. I used to have a very painful relationship with launching. It was so stressful for me. And so I realized I was like, okay, you know, I had really depended on doing launches for like the 3 years prior to that to make great income. I hadn't really tailed off on doing a lot of, I mean, I still was doing private client work, but it wasn't my main thing. And so in some ways it felt like a risk. But I was able to, with Facebook posts, 2 Facebook posts, fill an entire year of private client work with a waiting list. Right? This was because I had become a person who was able to transact, right? That people saw me different because I had been doing everything that are the things that we teach in Legends. You know, I've been out there speaking, been out there sharing my wisdom. I was out there sharing ideas consistently, right? And really had a unique way of doing it. I had a unique method that people saw and trusted. I knew how to communicate in a way that not only just was from my heart, but also I knew had created trust. And we talked about this in our third call last week of that immediate authority, right? That immediate authority that people know, oh, you have the thing that I need, right? And that's what we do in Legends is set you up to increase your capacity to transact transformation for other people and to transact financially, right? So that you have so much capacity. because you have built the people knowing you, creating instant authority and trust, right? Being able to identify and name and talk about this unique method of transformation or support or whatever it is that people get through your work, when you really know how to communicate those things and you do it through the different mediums that we have now, on stage, in podcasts, through social media posts, right? And this is partly what we do in Legends, is help you pick the lane that is going to bring you the most energy, the most juice, so that you actually go out there and do it, right? So that you actually develop a real community around your work, but in a way that is so fulfilling for you. We help you work through the stuff that comes up, because we know, as we talked about today, this path of setting a new standard and then taking the actions to live into that standard is going to bring up all the stuff about that underlying question mark. Am I worthy? And my number one job in Legends, in addition to helping you have the education and the community to go out there and rock it, is to help heal that answer so that you are living in the fullness of who you are from this place of worthiness. That is where we begin to create incredible turned on wealth, right? From that connection to our worthiness. And this is the place where what I have seen over and over with my clients, and you've heard from Kiara, you've heard me speak about Jess Michaels, right? You've heard me speak about my clients, Nisha and Sarah Jenks, and like all these different clients of mine, is when we got clear, right? When we got clear on the message and we created a new standard, right? And we got the education and the community support to go for it, their whole lives changed, right? The whole reality is different. They were no longer the person who was dreaming of one day being the woman that has an incredible movement around your work and you're making incredible money. They are that. Then they have a whole new set of things and challenges and things to deal with, you know? But there's always challenges. There's always going to be things that come up no matter what you're choosing or doing in life. So what is the context where you want to have new challenges and growth happen? Either still being in the space of one day dreaming of what you want to do, or being in the space where you're living the dream. You're actually being that, right? That's the place where it's like I heard about this before I became a parent. Someone once said, when you become a parent, you realize you have crossed a line into a place that you never knew about, which is parenthood. All of a sudden, you're a parent. And if anybody here is a parent, you know what I'm talking about. There was life before parenthood. Oh, nice. I'm going to have the beautiful nursery. And I'm going to, oh, it'll be so sweet. We'll have these matching clothes. Oh, it's going to be so cute. And oh, to be a parent. And then you're a parent. Then you're a parent. And you have all the cute clothes, but you're also tired. And you also got vomit on you sometimes. It's a poopy diaper. And now my kid's like 12 and I have to worry about like the world of like what's online and how to protect him. Like there's new challenges with everything we do. But on this side of parenthood, I'm a parent. And you know what I get? I'm a mom. I'm a mom. And the love is so tremendous. The things that I never would have imagined I could do. Because of that love, I do. I am a stronger person. I'm a more courageous person because I am a mother. Same thing when we cross that line of dreaming about the impact, dreaming about the money, and we actually create new standards. We get the education, we line up the community, we get accountable to our actions, and we put ourselves in these threshold moments where we cross that line. We cross that line, and now you are. You are the woman. You are the woman who is out there on stages sharing your message. You are the woman who is a public speaker. You are a woman who is doing online sales events. You went through the discomfort and got the education. You had the community to support you. All of a sudden, you're the person who is now literally on the line. And now you're literally having Stripe notifications come through. You're the one now who is doing this. Now you got to figure out, what are you going to do with all that money? You know, this is the kind of conversations that I've been like sitting in the last few days. I'm like, okay, what are the right ways to allocate cash that's coming in? It's a whole set of things. I have to get more education, sometimes for more support. It just doesn't end because we grow. But the thing is that what I have to offer to you inside of Legends is the opportunity to be in a whole new realm. A whole new realm where there ain't no more dreaming about being that or having that. You are that. You have that, right? You're spreading that message. You have an actual movement around your work. You are literally out there leading people, selling, making consistent 20, 40, 50, whatever it is, months. And then you will have a new set of things that you will then need to address. But it is a very different realm. It is a very different realm. And what I know for sure is that the love and the fulfillment is off the fucking charts. It's so good. It's so good. I remember what it was like to be in the like, oh man, I just want to be able to reach more people in my work. The longing inside, oh God, I'm so tired of living in like tighter months financially. Oh, it's tough. There's a completely different reality available to you. And when you invest in your voice, it completely changes things, right? It completely changes things. So that is my invitation. We have one spot left in the Woman Speak Legends Mastermind Live. And one very special woman who wants to take that, right? And I've decided that just because of this call and the feeling into it, for 24 hours, I'm going to reopen for applications, right? In case there's anyone here in our community who's been watching all the replays and who's like, I'm ready to set a new standard. I'm ready to create a whole new experience in my life, right? This is what I want to invite you to do, right? So what I want to do, let's see here. How much your nipples would hurt? Yes, that is very, very true. Yeah, mind-boggling numbers, right? Mind-boggling numbers. You know, and I have to remember, I mean, there was always once a time, I remember when I was like broke. I remember when I was broke, and the very idea of consistent $10,000 months was just like, what? I could not even grok it, you know? Could not even grok it. But then you don't have to know what it looks like, but what is important is the self-trust and belief of knowing you'll put yourself in situations where you'll get the education and the community around you to support you in going on that quest, right? That's what really changes it and takes that from being something that may never occur or could take decades to something that could happen in like a year. And that is the miracle of the realm that we're all operating in the digital products and courses and transformation arena. You can create incredible things in a short period of time. It's really incredible. It's really incredible. So I want to go over, we're going to just walk through one time here. Okay. So I want to go over one more time with you exactly what happens inside of Legends, so you're really clear what becomes possible here, okay? And then also take a minute to answer any questions, all right? So this is screens, desktop, share. Okay, so here we go. So in Legends, the way that this works is, and I get this question from some people like, you know, how much time do we actually get coaching with you? And is this a container where people actually care about your experience, like if you're progressing? There are so many coaching programs out there and masterminds. I want you to know that I have received consistent feedback over the years. And I have a couple people who I know on this call who've been in my mastermind. Maybe they can vouch for this, that we hold a very high level of support in my mastermind containers. And that I take that so seriously. So we actually have something called our mastermind concierge. It is a very special role in the mastermind team of someone who's actually tracking you and where you're at and whether you're actually coming to calls or are you actually reviewing modules, and checks in to make sure that you are not like totally falling off, because we're committed. We're not like one of these things where we just want your money and you come in and we're like, it's not like that at all. My job is for you to have results. That's my job. If you don't have results, that's not good, right? Like, I would like to serve more people out there. I need you to go have results so that you have results, but also so that we can help other people to know that they can have results through you, right? So this is so important. And I take it so seriously that I also put in these threshold moments, right, to hold you accountable to your dreams. Right? I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but that's so important. Rather than just like, here's a bunch of curriculum and calls, good luck. No, actually, like, you got to show up and speak at the Legends Disco, right? If you're in the Legends Mastermind, like, you're showing up at this live event, like this is online live event. Just give your talk and we're going to celebrate you and party you. Like, you got to show up. But also, if you're in Sedona and you are showing up to speak on that stage, and all the things come up inside. It's so deep. And all the things, it can come up with the most amazing ideas and reasons why not to do it. The most amazing ideas and reasons why not to do it. And that is one of the biggest reasons why we have these moments, is because the things that we'll come up with inside of our mind to keep us from our expansion is really deep and compelling, right? The avoidance, the excuses. And so what we put in place are things that keep you accountable to your dream and to the results that you're going after. All right. So I'm going to talk you through that. And I just want you to know that is the overarching lens of how we create this. So you get 4 calls with me a month. There's 6 calls a month. There's so many calls. At a mastermind level this size, it's usually 2 calls a month. And then maybe like a call with like a support team member. We have 6 calls a month. So you have 2 mastermind hot seat coaching calls with me. All right. These are over 30K in value. This happens 2 times a month, or 24 in a year, right? For any kind of support that you need in your business, your messaging, selling, strategy, your speaking, whatever it is, the energetics, the things that come up, this is where we get to go really deep together. All right. And so you get 2 of those with me a month. We get seasonal deep dive immersions. We have our first one, so there's 4 a year, coming up on December 8th and 9th, where we're going to help you get clear on your offer, right? This is like gold, getting clear on your offer. All right. The offer piece is so important, because I want to support you in getting out there and just going gangbusters selling like ASAP, right? Your offer will evolve over time, but my interest is you coming in and let's fucking go, and have fun and do new brave things. So you get this quarterly deep dive to get totally aligned on your offer, what it is, and then get out there to like understand both like how to word it, the pricing, how your like angle is and how you're marketing it, how you're going to structure it, like the whole thing. All right. So you're so clear, and clarity is freedom. My experience, when you have that clarity and that alignment and that joy, my goal is for you to come up with it so clear you can't wait to get out of bed every day to go sell it. So you can make so much money. The other piece that is a bonus, which I announced last time, which I'm still going to include, is that you're going to get a 1-to-1 sales strategy call with me. All right, to support you in mapping out your sales strategy to go out there and sell your offer. All right, so this is such a huge piece. It's going to get you in mobilized action. And then you have your hot seat calls with me to help keep you also have that accountability and going for it, right? So I want you to be able to pay off this investment as quick as possible, but even more beyond that, I want you to go well beyond that and set yourself up for a foundation to make more money in 2026 than you have ever made, because you're setting a new standard. And that's what happens when we have the education and the mentorship and the community to support you and holding you to that. It really can't go any other way if you show up and bring the work. All right, so we also have the Legends quarterly disco parties. This is so fun. This is where we come together in the magic of our community, which is fun and juicy. We have so much fun. Dance, we get into things, we cheer for each other. So you come and give talks, and we really bring everything we're working on in our messaging to fruition, right? And you work towards these moments. We celebrate you. These are huge rite of passage moments, right? We're going to do them every quarter. This is such a fun experience, but also this is one of those moments where you're like start to really cross that line, right? Where your identity really begins to shift, right? And you start living into now what happens on the other side of that experience, which I'm going to talk about more. Actually, this relates to this. Like in our seasonal deep dive immersions, we will have a seasonal deep dive immersion that is all about landing speaking engagements, right? 2 days of pitching yourself for podcasts and stage engagements, right? Going out there, landing engagements, putting a massive amount of energy, again, with education on how to do it and the community and mentorship to hold you to it. It's just incredible. I mean, I've had students in my mastermind, we've done intensives like this where they go out and it's like, some of them had never even really like had speaking events before, and all of a sudden they have like 10 speaking events on the books, stage, some paid, some on podcasts. I mean, all of a sudden it's just like, now they're really out there. We've done it. We crossed that other threshold moment, right? We're not just one day thinking about having a bunch of stage engagements or one day thinking about, being on podcasts. Now we're having different conversations. Now we're like, okay, how do we have negotiation conversations around what to pay you? How do we, do we like just a different set of like conversations? What do you offer at the end of these talks or to their community as something to get these people on your list? Then it becomes like different set of conversations that happen, but you cross that line. Now you're a professional speaker. Now you're on like awesome podcasts. Now your email list is growing and people are following you and seeing you as an authority in a new way. It's so much easier for you to make sales. Like that's one of those major threshold moments. We're going to have another seasonal deep dive immersion where we go into learning how to do like what I've been doing, selling in live one-to-many events. This is where you're going to start to make so much money. And you will be primed because you have learned how to really share your message in a way that creates transformation for people. And then how to express the unique method of your work that has it be the thing that people are like, wow, I need, this is the thing that's going to help me. And she is the one, right? And then how do you pitch? How do you make offers? How do you enroll and sell, right? You're going to learn how to do this. And then I'm going to support you in going out there and doing it in the right way. There's different formats of how you can do it, right? But I'm going to teach you how to do this so you can fill group programs, high-end one-on-one, whatever the offer is, right? So that you can go out there and make so much more money. And again, that the first time you do it, it's going to be one of those threshold moments that we're going to be holding you through with the education, the mentorship, and the community, and the unique method that we teach for you to get out there and actually share your message, enroll people into your work, and make the kind of money that you have been like that kind of money where you're like, how is that even possible? Like I can't even feel that all of a sudden you're making it, right? And then you have a new set of things to think about. Where do I allocate that money? How much do I put into my Roth? Now, do I put this into a solo 401k or a SEP IRA? Do I, if you don't already have those kinds of things set up, or how much am I going to put any money into Bitcoin? How much money am I going to put for improvements to my house? Like then you have like other things to think about, like how you manage and tend your wealth, right? So that's like that threshold that we're going to hold you in as well. Right? So these deep dives where we're going to help support you in making massive transformation in a short period of time, so that you, by the end of this 12 months, you are literally operating in a completely different capacity, having so much more impact, reaching so many more people, making so much more money than you ever have. That's my commitment, is to support you in getting there, right? All you got to do is show up and put in the work, put in the bravery, right? Follow your truth, And we have the education, the mentorship, and the community to help you really get there. Okay, so the weekly speaking and messaging calls, we meet every week. We have 2 messaging calls a month, 2 speaking calls a month, one that's led by me, one that's led by Yvette Given, my epic top trainer, who has been my partner in support and messaging for my masterminds for years. She is genius. Um, and and so this is that happens every single week. All right. Then we have the community, right? These are women who are going for it. Like if they say, if you want to get somewhere fast, put yourself in a community of people who are committed and expanding, and it will change your psychology. It will shift your nervous system. Things that felt like a drag on your nervous system. Why is this like taking so long? Why does this feel so hard? All of a sudden it just gets freed up, and the joy and the energy and the turn on and the life force gets so much more powerful. That's what happens in this community. It's also a deeply safe, emotionally, psychologically safe community, designed that way, mastered over a decade and a half of experience of facilitating some of the most phenomenal transformative communities of women in the world. And that's the kind of space we're going to come in so that you can be in the fullness of your creativity and take so much creative risk and make phenomenal, new, expansive friends. All right. Plus, you're going to get access to all of my programs, trainings, and classes. All right. And those are things like Speak Up for Your Business, The Magic of the Tiny ebook, like for helping you with email funnels. That's a phenomenal, not email funnels, your ebook opt-in funnels, phenomenal training that will support you in creating a warm flow of leads into your list, and being able to sell from there. Like there's a variety of different trainings and programs in here. You can just access it anytime and go through them as you need. For instance, our Women Speak Accelerator program here is in this program, and this is all about landing speaking engagements. So if you don't want to wait until we have our 2-day deep dive, you can go through the accelerator and then come to the hot seat with me, and I can support you on things related to that to get you in action in that particular course. Same thing with like the Magic of the Tiny ebook. You're ready, like, okay, I'm ready to build my like solid opt-in funnel strategy. You watch this, you come to the hot seat, I coach you, right? And support you in that process as well, reviewing materials, reviewing your opt-in materials, like helping you make it really tight conversion-wise and excellent. Like this is the kind of stuff that you can get what you're looking for even during the program based on where your business is at, and then come to the hot seat and have me work with you. So all of this is valued at over 150K. I mean, we put this on the bed. It's valued at a minimum that, and on its own, 150K would be so worth it, for the level of like income that you can make doing the kind of work we do. Like I will say, there are a lot of people out there who can make a lot of money teaching other people, like necessarily just how to make money, and that's just all they do. That's for years not been my thing necessarily, right? I mean, money's part of it, but I have like also like skill that I'm teaching too, public speaking, messaging, this whole piece of it, right? So I have been able to make like millions of dollars teaching something that isn't just about teaching people how to make more money. And that's why some people, is this actually possible for me? Is this actually possible for me if I'm not teaching other people how to make more money? Can I actually go out on the internet and make a lot more money? Yes, absolutely. Right? When you've got a solid, unique way that you bring to help people have the transformation or support that they're looking for. And that's part of what we're going to really get into in early December with your offers, articulating that and building something powerful around that. Right? And you help people to have a true transformation in their experience, right? And you are solid and educated and know how to communicate about this in a way that builds like instant trust in you and your authority. You can make so much money out there. It's incredible, the cash that is available in doing this. But when we don't have the education and we don't have mentorship and the community, sometimes it can be really hard. And my job here is to help ease this path, right? So we, instead of taking the slow boat that may or may not get there, we take the Concorde that has been trusted for a decade and a half for women and really helping them truly to become incredibly well-known thought leaders who have built powerful businesses and careers around their ideas. So we have 2 tiers in Legends. The first is the Legends Mastermind, right? It is going to go back up to $18,000 after this launch. I am opening for applications for the next 24 hours. So if any of you feel the call, you will get the special price that we have had for the Turned On Sales Challenge, which is $13,900. That is almost like a $4,000 savings. Yeah. And then it's a payment plan option as well, which is like, I think it's like 1,200 something a month for 12 payments. All right. That's another option too. All right. Or the Legends Mastermind Live. We have one spot available. I'm looking for one aligned woman of passion, of commitment, who is probably also just shaking in her boots, but is so believing deeply in her work, her message. She's got something. She knows it's time to really take it to the whole other level, become the spokeswoman, set herself up for building so much more than a message, a movement around her work. This is where we do it. And so the live includes our retreat in Sedona. There we are with Cathedral Rock, right? Our retreat in Sedona, epic women from around the world coming to speak, big live event. Our retreat, one of the things we're doing in our retreat is it's not only because we are working with you deeply to support you and just bringing the fullness of you to that stage, right? Which we're professionally filming you on that stage, and you'll use that footage to support you in landing all kinds of engagements, but also reshaping how people see you in leadership, right? And authority in your message and work. But one of the things that we're going to be doing in that retreat, in addition to, supporting you in your speaking for your talk and bringing the fullness of your embodiment and being out on the red rocks and the enjoyment of the land and spending time together, is we're going to be doing something called the rejection ritual. It is designed to support you in forever transforming your relationship to rejection, so you are truly free. And that is my number one commitment to you, is I want to support you in having total liberation to be yourself and to be as expansive with yourself and sharing your work, your voice, generating wealth as you are called, right? And so we're going to be doing that very special retreat on that week. So you walk away from this retreat and this incredible live experience forever feeling completely liberated from any fears or experiences of feeling rejected, right? Never again, like going into a place where you like shut down on your creativity and come all this avoidance, all this stuff, that you are so operating from such a place of consistent creative courage in your life, right? And accessing so much more joy and fun, boundlessness, and the wealth that naturally comes from that when we live in that state, right? We're creating from that state, we're selling from that state. So that full week long is so potent in that way. We also, in this week long retreat, we're going to have a separate special filming space set up where we are going to be filming you like having a really intimate conversation with someone off camera. Could be me, could be Yvette, but we're going to be filming you with like stunning professional, everything, just gorgeous footage, right? But it's like just you. It's just on you, and it's capturing the depths of your wisdom, your insights, the real you, your authentic stories, and bringing all that out. And then we're going to help create a library of reels from this. So you just have this incredible library coming out of this retreat to pull from, to share, right? On social media, to be sharing consistent, beautifully produced, incredibly valuable pieces of you that will bring people in and really bring them deeper into you, your work, your world, at the level of beauty and production that really does you and your message justice. And so that's another big piece of this week. So we have one spot left and a phenomenal group of women coming in. And so the Legends Mastermind Live is $30,000 full pay. But coming out of this Turned On Sales Challenge for this group, it is $22,000, right? You also have the option of a payment plan of doing that 22. You can do it all up front, or you can do it's 5,000 down, and I'd have to look it up, but I have to look up and see exactly what it is. But it says in the application as well what it is per month. And so those are the two options. We have one spot left in Legends Mastermind Live, and we have, and then we have the Legends Mastermind. All right, so some people ask how many people are in the Legends Mastermind, right? So the number, you know, and it is designed to be something where we can grow it, but right now we plan to keep it something where it is capped at about 30 women, right? Which is just a very intimate container. We have so many calls and high levels of support and coaching. That is a very just a very small level of container for this. So you're going to get tons of support, focus support just on you, and that you won't be like lost in something that's so big that we would lose you. Yeah. All right. So we are, and I want to just talk about the bonuses that are here. When you pay in full, you get a one-on-one with me. Also, we have a bonus, which I'm going to extend for the next 24 hours of this one-on-one additional sales strategy with me, whether you join Legends Mastermind or Mastermind Live. Right? This is a game changer. Now, I want to let you know that for real, and this is very true, we will not be going back down to this pricing again. All right. Whenever we do open up for enrollment again into Legends, it will be very much, it will be at 18,000, or if I did a special on it, it would be much closer to that 18,000. So if you're feeling the nudge and you're wondering, maybe I'll do it later, but it's a really, really true thing for you, I want you to just add this in, that this is the moment to come in at this rate that's here, that we have for you, for 13,900 or 22,000 for Mastermind Live. So I want to see if there are any questions about Legends Mastermind or Legends Mastermind Live from anyone here. Are there any questions? Great. Any questions? It's going to get a moment here. Make sure you get info you need. Yes, Kelly says, that is why I am here in these sales calls. Even though I'm already enrolled in Legends, I am fed and nurtured each and every time. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful, Kelly. Every time I listened to a podcast recording myself, it was an interview. I almost didn't recognize myself. The sureness in my voice about what I was saying really struck me. It's been amazing to experience the transformation you're speaking in your voice in the last year. Like phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. What if you don't have your offer baked or haven't been selling it, but I know I'm made for lots more? Excellent question. Excellent question. Perfect. You're coming in like the perfect energy, because what we're going to do is help you first get, like on December 8th and 9th, my job is to help you get so in this first of all, in the energy, right? The energy of like what's like the deepest joy and turn on and expansiveness and fulfillment you can imagine feeling first, and then talking to that energy of what is it that's wanting to be created through this? What is the offer that's coming through? And it may take some aspects of things you've had in the past, or it might be completely fresh with where you're at, where your work is at, how your work has evolved, how you have evolved. And we're going to be designing the offer. I have like a whole offer design process that I'm going to be walking you through. And everybody here who is coming in will be on a spectrum. There are a few people who already have a clear, like there are actually several people who have a clear offer they're selling, but they're like, I got to reinvent. I am not feeling aligned anymore. I'm just not feeling aligned. You know, I want to be waking up out of bed like, I want to go sell. I'm so excited. Standards. That's what I want for you. I want you to feel that, because that's where you're going to make and have so much fun making so much money. So some people are reinventing their offer. Some people are really starting it from scratch. You know, some people are going to take what they're doing and look at what they can add in or let go of. to make it really world class. So it's great. You know you're made for lots more, and we're going to be designing what it is that it's going to deliver that lots more for you and for others. So that's a great question. Is there any way to sign up today, pay in full, and then join in later? Yeah, Barbara, message me. Let's chat. Send me if you can just send me an email right now, and let's set up and talk. And my God, your husband, like, oh my gosh, I know you're holding so much. I know you're still holding so much. So why don't we message me and talk, and let's talk through all the details, okay? And work and see what makes sense. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. So this is my invitation to you. I'm opening up applications for another 24 hours at this price point. All right. It's my last time at this price point. And yes, message me. I do. Can I message you, please? Yes, Shane, message me. Message me. That just got me really turned on. And
Hey,
then,
Can I ask you a question?
yes, is that
Susie.
Susie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Susie.
So, hi. If we filled in the application the other day and it asked those several questions, is that the first process? There's no down payment or anything?
Ask me one more time so I can understand.
Oh, so the initial application form, it didn't ask for a down payment, it just asked several questions. Is that kind of the first
That's the first step.
process
That's
to
that,
make sure you
exactly.
get the discount if you proceed, yeah? And then do you
Yes.
kind of do an interview or something to see whether we're ready for it?
Yep, exactly. So great
Mhm.
question. So the process is you fill out the application. Then either I or Angelica will reach out to you, and then you and I will get on the phone, and then we'll talk through it. Any questions you have, like anything about it, and then if it's a fit and it feels right, then we go ahead and do registration from there. Awesome, Susie. I hope I get an application from you. Beautiful.
Yes, I've already put it in, but there was no
You
payment
did?
thing. So I was like, oh, good.
Oh,
Which was
great.
good because I don't have the money to pay for it right now. So I was like, at least I'll see how far I get. But that's great. Yeah, we'll see how we go when we have a chat. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome, Susie. Beautiful. Okay, amazing, amazing. I love this. So here's what I would recommend. So if you are like anybody here, can I chat with you? You know, just like, so here, do this right now. Just right now, you can send me an email right there. Okay. And if you're feeling it, I would really love to read your questions in the application. It helps to do that. But if you have just like I know, you know, like just and if you're like, hey, I just have some simple questions, just email me the question. Hold on, someone keeps trying to call me. Email me and we can dialogue about the questions over email before you decide, if you need to do that before you decide to apply. All right, so awesome. Beautiful, everybody. I'm so excited. So those were our two options. We have the Legends Mastermind, fabulousness and an experience, the education, the community, the mentorship, the threshold moments, right? To just, let's reinvent. Let's make so much fabulous money and impact with our voices, right? And the Legends Mastermind Life, one space left. One space left. Very special woman I know is going to come in and take this space. So if you're feeling that inside, like, send me an application. Send me an application. So beautiful being with you all here today. So beautiful being with you these last 3 weeks. This experience has changed me. It has changed me. It has evolved me, right? I could feel like I could do a whole download about this whole process. I will at some point, but I just want you to know how much you all, your presence, your leaning in, your engagement has been the thing that's made this just so beautiful. So thank you for leaning in. thank you for leaning in. We talked a lot about that, and y'all really have. It's been so beautiful. I believe in all of your work so much. I just want to see you fly and impact and be so deeply well resourced in your work and in your life and with money and all of it. You're worthy. You're worthy. Mwah. Oh, so beautiful, everyone. All right, so ladies who have a question, just send me the question right now while it's fresh. I'll email you back here shortly. And then from there, we can decide if it makes sense for you to apply. All right, or if you're already like, let's do this, just send me an application. All right, so here is the website again, womanspeak.com. Legend. All right. Mwah. Thanks, everybody. Love you all so much. Yay! All right. Bye, everyone.